So the ketogenic diet is such a fad nowadays, I wanted to give a basic overview. As if you didn't already know, the ketogenic diet is a high-fat diet, at least 70% fat, with moderate protein and very low carbs. Typically below 50 grams, but it can be 20 grams on up. The point of doing the ketogenic diet is that it lowers our blood sugar and our insulin levels, and it helps put us in a state of ketosis, where our body is preferentially burning ketones for fuel rather than sugar. So it makes us more of a fat burner than a sugar burner. So it's often used for weight loss. It's very helpful for diabetics or pre-diabetics or other insulin disorders like PCOS. It's also beneficial in neurologic disorders like seizures, we know, autism, and even cancers, because these disorders tend to be associated with mitochondrial dysfunction, and we know the keto diet improves this. And a way that the keto diet helps with neurologic issues is that ketones help certain parts of the brain work better that tend to be hypometabolic and don't survive on glucose very well. Also, the keto diet lowers a level called propionic acid in our body, and PPA causes inflammation in the brain. Our body makes PPA, propionic acid, when we eat a lot of sugar and carbs, and then ketones compete with PPA for the same transporter, so ketones block this acid from entering our brain. If we end up with too much of this acid, we can end up with disorders where we can't remember, like dementia, or we can't forget, like OCD and eating disorders. So there are some cons to the keto diet. I think it really depends what you're eating. If you're living on bacon and cream cheese, you're probably going to be nutrient deficient. So I'd always make sure you're eating plenty of vegetables so that you're getting plenty of nutrients and fiber, or it can adversely affect the healthy bacteria in our body called our microbiome. Also, I don't recommend doing keto long term because it can mess up our hormones, particularly our thyroid and our adrenals. While the keto diet nicely lowers insulin levels, unfortunately insulin is required to make active thyroid hormone, so it can lower or crash your thyroid. Then it can also do this to your adrenals, especially if you're already taxed or worn down. If you're overly stressed, you're a major athlete and taxing your body, lack of sleep, overextended, I wouldn't recommend the keto diet. Also, the keto diet wouldn't be recommended if you have colorectal or melanoma cancer, because they tend to like to fuel off ketones. Also, the keto diet can elevate levels of homocysteine in your body, which is a sticky protein that contributes to dementia and heart disease. Ways that you can try to avoid this is by taking a quality B12 and folate supplement, getting enough glycine like bone broth, and choline like organ meats and eggs. Speaking of, the keto diet can cause some electrolyte imbalance, so I'd make sure you're taking a quality salt and trace mineral supplement, particularly with potassium and magnesium. I have specific videos on these items too. I'd also consider taking a supplement called milk thistle. It helps your liver and overall fat metabolism, and to take a probiotic for reasons I talked about. I don't recommend checking your ketone levels because urine and breath levels tend to be inaccurate and it gets quite pricey. Honestly, it's really easy to tell if you're ketone adapted and in ketosis. If you're having fluctuating blood sugars and getting hypoglycemic, you're still a sugar burner and you're not keto adapted if you're getting hangry. But if you can wake up in the morning, get some exercise, feel great, not eat yet, go to work and cognitively function and you still feel great, well, you're keto adapted. So I think keto is fine. It's great principles. I recommend maybe more short term, like 30 to 90 days, or some people do keto cycling, like 5 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 1 day off, and off just meaning more carbs. So that's my overall overview of keto. Research shows that clicking the thumbs up and subscribe button will make fingers healthy and strong, and besides, it's free.